What a jolly good show!
I know.
Well, good afternoon, viewers. Here we are on quite a cold Andover station with Andrew Shoering, who's station manager for Salisbury. But Andrew, can you tell me, what your duties encompass?
Yes, I'm responsible for all the stations west of Basingstoke, from Overton down to, but not including Exeter. I look after all the staff and the booking offices, and make sure that the stations are kept up to standard, and of course that the train service we provide on the West of England line is as good as we possibly can.
That's quite a big area to cover. How do you cope with that?
Well, it is quite a big area. In fact, it's sort of 122 miles from one end to the other.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of doing that last week. There is a small management team based at Salisbury, and we tend to spread ourselves across the area and bomb around as best we can.
That's right. So there's obviously a major holiday route to the west of England. What sort of offers have you got on this coming season?
Well, we have a number of special tickets and offers going at the moment. In particular, the one that's best suited to the line is the journeys to historic towns. We have Salisbury, Exeter featured in this promotion, which is in a leaflet available at all our stations, and in particular one of the biggest favourites, or the two biggest favourites at the moment, are trips to Windsor Castle and to the historic city of Portsmouth, where by producing the leaflets substantial discounts can be achieved when you go around and look at HMS Warrior, Victory, and of course Nelson.
Yeah. A lot of older people watch our programme. What sort of things you got on offer for them? It's nice for them to get out and not watch too much of town TV, but go and see some historic towns.
That's right.
They get a special deal, do they?
Well, we have the Senior Citizens Rail Card, which of course offers a discount of 34% to senior citizens who wish to use the railway. And of course we must mention a plug for the line itself with its new Southwestern turbos, Class 159 units, which are air conditioned, provide a much more reliable and comfortable service, and possibly most important of all, it's much quicker, and we can bomb up to London from Andover in just over an hour now. So the service we provide on the West of England line has improved no end in the last few months.
So you're doing quite a lot of things like theatre breaks and all that sort of stuff, I suppose?
Yes, there's been theatre breaks, there's been promotions with Bullis Smart Circus. Basically we cater for an enormous number of occasions, events, whatever. You can come down to your station and you can find out exactly what's on offer. There's so much going on, it's very hard to very briefly say what it is that we're offering at the time.
Sure, so railways just aren't for commuting, are they? They're for getting away from it all for a bit.
Absolutely, not at all. I mean, this railway line in particular, the further west you go, when you head down from Salisbury towards Exeter, it's very much a tourism and leisure based railway, and that is where the majority of our market comes from. Yeah,
you're telling me that tickets are shortly going on sale for Eurostar for the Chunnel tunnel. Can you tell me some more about that?
That's right. Well, we will be acting as agents for Eurostar, who will be running the train service from London Waterloo to Paris and other European cities, and hopefully within the next few months we'll be issuing tickets so that when the tunnel opens for real and we're running our own services, these facilities will be available to the people of Andover.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much for talking to us. I know it's a bit cold here, but it'll soon be the summer and you'll soon be packed out with visitors. Now we're just going to be showing a film now of the Canadian Rockies. Have you been there?
No, I've never been there. Maybe one day.
But you've seen the trains going through. They're obviously on the film. So we're going to bring the film right now. Okay. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Thanks. At Andover Town TV, we're preparing to film our new Canadian series, and this is some of the scenery we've been checking out.
Tie by tie, The railway transports people through some of the most magnificent scenery in the world, the Canadian Rockies. But it wasn't always so. For centuries, this gorgeous wilderness area was accessible only to mountain goats and intrepid trekkers. Then, more than 100 years ago, one of the most ambitious and challenging construction feats began: a coast-to-coast railway. 5 majestic mountain ranges in Western Canada, including the rugged Canadian Rockies, posed the greatest obstacle. As persistent surveyors sought and found routes through this beautiful but wild land, engineers proved their brilliance by constructing extraordinary trestle bridges and spiral tunnels. And on November 7, 1885, the last spike was driven into Canada's first transcontinental railway, connecting east with west and opening up this stunning wilderness to the people of the world. And immediately, the world seemed to flock to the magnificent Canadian Rockies. Banff, Jasper, and Lake Louise quickly became popular and prestigious tourist resorts. The Canadian Rockies were the place to be, and the railway was the best way to enjoy the adventure.
All aboard!
Today, the adventure lives on with Rocky Mountaineer Rail Tours, the most spectacular train trip in the world. The Rocky Mountaineer winds its way along the legendary tracks of Western Canada's rail lines, traveling through 5 mountain ranges, connecting the west coast city of Vancouver with the Canadian Rockies resorts of Jasper and Banff, and the Stampede city of Calgary, Alberta.
I would rate this trip on a scale of 1 to 10, 11.
The scenery is just awesome. We're just taken by the splendor of the mountains.
I guess awesome is the word.
Oh, I definitely recommend it. I think it's something that everybody should have an opportunity to try at least once.
You'll be treated to an ever-changing panorama. Majestic snow-capped mountains rising to the heavens. Turquoise lakes surrounded by lush forests. Acres of glaciers and ice fields straddling the Continental Divide. Fascinating and unique wildlife, and quaint towns surrounded by nature. The Canadian Rockies, nature's playground. Eastbound or westbound is your choice on this leisurely 2-day rail tour. The Rocky Mountaineer travels only during daylight hours, so none of the spectacular scenery is missed. Train trips can be taken in either direction. Westbound tours depart from the mountain resorts of Jasper or Banff or Calgary, Alberta, for Vancouver, British Columbia. Eastbound tours depart from Vancouver for Jasper or Banff or on to Calgary. Highlights of the eastbound trip begin with Vancouver, Canada's 3rd largest and one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Full of gorgeous parks and gardens, surrounded by the Pacific Ocean and the towering peaks of the Coast Mountains. Early morning, Vancouver train station, and the excitement builds as travelers from around the world arrive for the trip of a lifetime. Suitcases are checked through to your final destination, so all you need is a carry-on bag for your overnight stay in Kamloops.
All aboard!
On board, one class of excellent service provides you with spacious and comfortable reclining seats, meal service served at your seat, picture windows, and a non-smoking, air-conditioned environment. Professional onboard attendants will ensure you're comfortable and provide you with interesting commentary about the sights throughout the entire rail tour.
It's not only the service, but also the enthusiasm of the attendant. Obviously very knowledgeable.
She's been so attentive and so enthusiastic. And this is what I find so nice, the fact that real personal attention and even calling me by my name.
As the train rolls out of Vancouver, it embarks on a 2-day journey through more than 600 miles, 1,000 kilometers of spectacular scenery. You'll travel east through the fertile fields of the Fraser Valley and the historic Fraser River, sometimes placid, sometimes raging in a cloud of spray, especially through Hell's Gate.
On your left-hand side, we're coming up to Hell's Gate, which is the narrowest point of the Fraser Canyon.
As the muddy Fraser meets the stark beauty of the Thompson River, watch for whitewater rafters. Day one ends in historic Kamloops, Canada's semi-arid desert and the gateway to the interior of British Columbia. In Kamloops, you'll be transferred by bus to your hotel, where you'll enjoy a comfortable night's rest. Early morning, day two, the Rocky Mountaineer has separated into two trains. One train heads northeast to the mountain resort of Jasper. The other east to beautiful Banff and onward to Calgary. If Banff or Calgary is your final destination, you'll enjoy sweeping interior ranchlands, shimmering lakes, and you'll pass through Craigellachie, where the last spike on the Canadian Pacific Railroad was driven. From this point onward, you'll be awed by towering mountain peaks and glistening glaciers, which seem to magically appear as you pass through Glacier, Yoho, and Banff National Parks. Early evening, day two, you arrive in the picturesque resort town of Banff, Alberta, in the heart of the Canadian Rockies. You can depart the Rocky Mountaineer at Banff or continue on for the 2-hour journey east to the city of Calgary. Calgary is a booming oil and cattle town and is home to the world-famous Calgary Stampede, held every July. Don't forget, Calgary or Banff are not your only destination choices. You can also travel east or west between Jasper and Vancouver. And round-trip vacations are available from Vancouver to Banff, by bus along the Icefields Parkway to Jasper, and return by train to Vancouver. Since each route is so varied, a round trip is the best way to experience more of the majestic beauty of the Canadian Rockies. The drive along the Icefields Parkway between Banff and Jasper offers breathtaking views of the Columbia Icefields. Jasper, known as the Jewel of the Rockies, is a charming village situated in Canada's largest national park. Traveling southwest from Jasper to Vancouver, Rocky Mountaineer Rail Tour passengers experience some extraordinary mountain scenery, including magnificent Mount Robson, the highest peak in the Canadian Rockies.
So just coming up on the left there, you can see a beautiful view of the Rockies there. Lots of snow on the mountains.
The exquisite alpine scenery continues with crystal clear emerald lakes, expansive glaciers, and cascading waterfalls, and the majestic Premier and Monashee mountain ranges. You'll travel from mountain country into the rolling plateaus of the North Thompson River. Next stop, Kamloops, and an overnight stay in a hotel before heading to Vancouver the next day. Vancouver is the departure port for many cruises to Alaska. Rocky Mountaineer Rail Tours is the perfect addition to your cruise vacation. As well, pre- and post-conference and corporate incentive rail tours are simple to arrange. Group bookings are also welcome. The departure cities for Rocky Mountaineer Rail Tours are easily accessible. Air service is available from around the world to Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, and Seattle. And ground transportation easily connects Jasper and Banff with Calgary and Edmonton, and Vancouver with Seattle.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the trip through the Rockies. It seems as cold in Andover as it does in British Columbia, but before we leave Andover Station, I want to point out to you these London Day return fares, and I think it's a good thing to look at. Because if you go before 9 o'clock and pay a standard fare in a weekday, it's £29.90. But if you've got a rail network card, if you go after 9 o'clock, it's going to cost you £9.45 to get to London and back, which I think is pretty cheap. What does it cost? Well, a network card, a single holder card, is £12. A joint holder card is £15. But there is a special rate for over 60s and a young person's rail card holder. So the single holder card is £8 and the joint holder card is £10. So I really do think they're good value. How do you get my network card? It says fill in the application form on the leaflet, take it to a station. So there's a leaflet, fill out your form, £12 single holder, £15 joint holder. Anyway, let's get back to the studio. It's a bit warmer back there.
Well, good evening, viewers. My name's Tim Keeley. I run the bar upstairs, Keeley's Bar, and we're downstairs this evening for the first of 4 table tennis internationals between Japan and England. I hope you've now got all over your Christmas festivities, and it's now time to get back down to the real thing and get fit and everything else, and these guys here tonight are extremely fit. The table tennis ball bounces goodness knows how high and how hard it goes, but these internationals are obviously of great interest to the table tennis world. It's the second time the Japanese have been over here. They were over here about 4 years ago, and this is their second time here. They got beaten 3-1 last time over here, and England obviously now looking to capitalise on that. There's Carl Preen just walking behind me now, looking very fit and mean. Anyway, that's me signing off for tonight at the moment. Who knows, I may be back later on. But I wish you all a very happy new year, and let's hope to see you down at the Sports Centre getting fit again. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we might be back later on, and here I am standing with the England captain for these four matches, Carl Preen. Carl, how are the Japanese rated in the world today?
They're a good team. They came in the top 8 in the World Championships, so they're one of the better teams in the world.
So you'll have your work cut out tonight, will you?
Be a very close match, yes, yeah.
Good. Looking forward to it, obviously.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us about twiddling. Apparently the only one in the world that can twiddle, is that correct?
No, there are a lot. The defensive player from the Japanese, he can twiddle, and I can as well. Well, it's just I play one shot sometimes with the pimples, and then I'll turn the bat and play the next one with the normal rubber, and that'll increase the speed, and then I'll play the next one with the pimples, so it'll come slower again. It's just to change the pace.
It's just a question of twiddling the bat around in your hand as the ball's away.
That's right, yeah.
Well, Carl, many thanks for your time tonight. All the best, and do it for England tonight.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, my pleasure. Thank you.
The men's team from Japan. The men's team from England. And our 2 match officials tonight, international umpires Harry Spraggs and Andy Seaward.
The Chantry Centre.
From fashion to photos, flowers to food, furnishing to fabrics, pharmacies to finance, fitness to footwear, and cuddly toys. The Chantry Centre has it all and lots more, all under one roof. And there's parking for over 650 cars. Shop the Chantry way and you'll be
Feeling great. It's the Chantry Centre.
The Chantry Centre in the centre of Andover.
Welcome back to Andover. After last week's little jaunt up the motorway up to Blackpool and over to the Bahamas. We didn't really go, but it would have been nice. But today we're going to take you into the Guildhall in Andover, where they're having a travel show, travel fair type thing like they did in Blackpool. Talk to a few of the people that are there, find out where they're going to go on their holidays. And behind me is the Shuttle stand, which is basically what's going to be happening with the Channel Tunnel. We're going to talk to Carl Burrows. He's going to inform us as to what's actually happening with the tunnel. Carl,
hi.
The prices for the shuttle were released last week.
They were released on Tuesday of this week.
And how are they going to be comparing?
They are very competitive with the ferries and our competitors. You'll find our prices are actually per vehicle, and we actually, as I mentioned, launched them on Tuesday of this week. And we have the brochure here today to actually prove what prices we actually have and how they compare and compete with our competitors.
When you say per vehicle, if you wanted to put a 52-seater coach on there, would it still be the same price?
Coaches are priced differently than the prices I have today. The prices we launched on Tuesday were for cars and for motorcycles. Coaches and freight traffic are actually priced separately and differently. Unfortunately, I don't have a copy of those prices here with me today.
So when does it actually go sort of like completely online?
2 days. It's actually went on sale on Wednesday of this week, so anybody can go into a travel agent at the moment and purchase a ticket. The system actually doesn't go live until May the 8th for commercial traffic, so we'll be looking to take fare paying travellers from May the 8th.
So you can cross across to France in what?
35 minutes. 35
minutes, and not even touch water.
Not even touch the water, no at all. You won't be affected by heavy seas or rough weathers, etc. It's just a smooth journey through the actual Channel Tunnel itself.
Well, that's funny. Somebody's actually already been through, haven't they? There's a race that's going across around the world at the moment, an overland race that's going across.
There is I believe, I don't know the details of it to be quite honest, but I'm certainly they're sure that they're incorporating in like the London to Dakar race or something, but I haven't any idea of actually what's happening with that, unfortunately.
Well, anyway, Carl, thanks very much for your time. I know you're very busy.
Yes.
And been a pleasure to speak to you.
Salut Peter. Hello. Hello.
Come on, kids.
Ah, les belles photos d'Angleterre, hein. Une petite photo, ma chérie. Voilà.
Very shortly, getting to the other side of the channel will be a different experience. More relaxed, less stressful, and far quicker than the choices you have today. Thanks to Eurotunnel, from 1993, crossing the channel will mean going as and when you please, using Le Shuttle. And that's their latest release heading up the charts this week. You're listening to Radio Eurotunnel, and for the latest crossing news, over to Jan.
Thanks, Bob. Everything's running smoothly. The shuttle passenger services are leaving every 15 minutes, and the next departure is at 15:30. Les navettes passagers et le shuttle partent comme prévu toutes les 15 minutes, et le prochain départ est à 15h30.
Both in Britain and in France, you drive directly off the motorway into the terminal. There's no need to book in advance or race against the clock. Just turn up and go. You can buy a single or return ticket in a number of ways. Once through the toll booth, you have a choice. You can either go directly to Le Shuttle that takes you across the channel, or you can go to the passenger terminal building, which provides a variety of shops, restaurants, and services.
Alternatively, once you're through the toll booth, you can proceed directly to Le Shuttle. Clearing both UK and French frontier controls on departure saves you even more time on arrival. You then drive your car onto Le Shuttle, where trained staff will be on hand to help. The shuttle departs every 15 minutes at peak times. The shuttle's dedicated transport system has been specifically designed to carry vehicles and to operate 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The crossing takes only 35 minutes. You stay with your vehicle and relax in the well-lit, air-conditioned carriage. During the journey, you're kept in touch by information relayed to you on a special radio program.
Thank you for travelling with us today. We wish you a pleasant onward journey. Merci d'avoir voyagé avec nous. Nous vous souhaitons une très bonne route.
Further information is also provided on display screens. "35 minutes later, you're across. Unloading starts as soon as Le Shuttle stops. Then you simply drive forward through Le Shuttle and out onto the platform. With no frontier controls to clear, you are immediately on your way. Journey time? As little as 1 hour from motorway to motorway, getting you to your destination in the shortest possible time. With Le Shuttle, crossing the Channel is a whole new experience.
Who wants the biggest? You or Dan? You want the biggest?
Come on, Dan.
Come on, Dan. Well, from Le Shuttle, we've now moved over to the Hertz rental stand, and we've got Cam and Paula with us. They're going to tell me a little bit about the different people that they rent to, and the cars that they rent, and where they rent, and how they rent, and why they rent.
And why
Cam.
we rent, yes. We've come along today to obviously create some interest within people of Andover, both from a leisure point of view, and certainly we've had one or two inquiries about business rental as well. We have a high density of corporate volume throughout the UK, and that obviously extends to throughout Europe and obviously globally as well. Today we're doing a feature on most of our leisure products, which I know you've got a close-up of earlier, and also to expose some of our partnership and our allies, in particular our relationship with British Airways, which we've had for about 4 years now, and we're both very proud of, so we both feature it in each other's brochures, etc.
Is that worldwide?
It is worldwide. I mean, obviously the main concept there is you fly to a destination. Not only do you get your flight sorted out via American Express, you arrange a car hire through them as well. So immediately you step off your plane, you go to the arrivals lounge, you go to the Hertz desk, complete your paperwork, you're in your car and away you go. And we're represented in over 3,500 locations in the world.
That's a lot of locations.
It is, yeah, a lot of manpower, but obviously it's big business. And
what about commercial sort of like hiring? Do you do a lot of that as well?
Yes, we do.
Commercial hiring more in terms of, we're lucky in terms of the network that we've got throughout the world, and we've got a range of brochures that sort of cover all areas, particularly strong in the US, which of course we're an American company, but we've now got our locations throughout Europe and the UK, so leisure hire is becoming a lot bigger for us than it used to be. We used to be predominantly, along with some of the other guys in the UK, predominantly business travel, but now we're expanding much more into the leisure market.
So how did the recession sort of affect the way the company is at the moment?
I must admit, within Hertz, fingers crossed, we felt it, but not as badly as some other people, I think.
think last year, as Paula said, the recession does bite. We were quite fortunate in that we did have a good, strong client base in existence, and obviously they devoted their loyalty to us, and obviously they stuck with us throughout. And now, next year, we are looking forward to a very, very good year, because the last 6 to 8 months of last year, some of the results were the best on record.
Best that we've ever had, which is quite amazing. I mean, you found that people have been down trading, particularly in the business area and things like that, but now it's really, really picking up. So.
Well, on that note, optimistic.
Yeah, very.
Thanks very much for your time, and I hope next year proves us more profitable than last year does.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Well, we're now here with David Wood, who's representative of British Airways. We've talked to people over at Hertz about them sort of advertising with each other. David, tell me something about air travel and how safe it is, because there's a lot of people out in Andover that probably haven't travelled by air. How safe is it?
We got, the year before last we threw 24 million passengers around the world, and no problems at all. One of the BA corporate missions of goals is that we're to be a safe and secure airline. No problems at all.
Royal Caribbean Cruise Line presents Our Inside Story. It's a story about a dream vacation where you don't have to worry about packing and unpacking, high menu prices, or your accommodations. With so many different itineraries, it's a dream where everything you see is perfect, beautiful, and serene. But it's what you don't see that makes your Royal Caribbean dream vacation come true. Like the roaring strength of the ship's 4 powerful diesel main engines and up to 7 auxiliary engines. Powerful equipment, which is constantly monitored by the state-of-the-art control room, where the chief engineer and his diligent staff keep watch on more than 500 gauges, 24 hours a day. Gauges that can tell them everything from the temperature in the main dining room to the temperature of a single cylinder in a single engine. As the ship's nerve center, it's in constant contact with the bridge and your captain. He, in turn, depends on still more space-age electronics to see in the dark, to predict the weather, and even navigate by satellite.
Main engine and about
All the while, you gaze out at the amazing sea in the light of the fading sun and lift a glass of champagne in anticipation of the good times ahead.
We've taken you over, under, through, and around different various locations. We're going to take you out to the Caribbean, probably the most luxurious locations you can ever think of. We're going to talk to Gary Barlow about some of the prices and the places that you can go to in the Caribbean. Gary.
Well, we've been the very busiest stand here this morning, and it's nice to come on a cold, wet January day in Andover to talk about lovely destinations further afield. And that's really what surprised people this morning, is when we've put our prices on the table to show people how competitive they are against other holidays. And most importantly, people have gone away thinking that they really have got something new to think about for holidays for 1994, and a cruise is something they probably hadn't thought about for a number of reasons. The main 2 reasons are that people are concerned that it's a very expensive one-off type holiday, and also that it's really something that is for ages of people which are outside their age bracket. So we've reassured them today that younger people are enjoying the most updated version of cruising that Royal Caribbean offer. And in terms of value for money, we really are knocking hotels right out of sight, because we offer fabulous meals, up to 8-9 opportunities to eat each day on our wonderful cruises, entertainment, shows, great visits to lovely islands in the Caribbean and the Bahamas, all in one single price.
Because you were saying just now in regards to if you're going to say Florida, you've had a couple have come over and
That's right. Just before you arrived, I was chatting with a couple who were planning to go out in February to Florida, and I suggested to them, why not get away off the mainland for a few days out into the Bahamas? And they were a little bit puzzled about that as a suggestion, but when we opened the brochure and read through that from £199 they could take a short 3-day weekend break with Royal Caribbean Cruises on the Nordic Empress, a beautiful cruise ship, 44,000-ton ship with 1,600 passengers on board, every facility you can imagine, show lounges, theatres, bars, pubs, everything there for people to really enjoy themselves for a full weekend cruise from £199. So under £70 an evening for all those facilities. Not many hotels. There are not many hotels indeed that can get up each morning and take you off to a new destination, for one, but secondly provide you with as much value for money in terms of the entertainment, the shows, great meals that we can provide for under £70 an evening. That's what you have to look at, and that's what's amazing people here this morning.
What's the sort of stability like? I mean, for seasickness,
there's no reason to be concerned at all. We see people walking around the cruise ship with all sorts of methods, corn plasters behind their ears, wrist bracelets, all sorts of silly things. If you're determined to be ill, then you probably will be, but if you come onto the modern ship as the one behind us is, with first-class facilities, every technological advance that you can imagine in the world of cruising, with stabilizers to make sure that there are no movement problems. Our captains are very, very aware that our passengers would enjoy the cruise without any sort of movement at all on the cruise ship, and that is their ultimate objective, is to make sure that everyone enjoys the cruise. And we're talking about different waters. We're not talking about cruising out of Southampton here. We're talking about cruising the Bahamas, the Caribbean seas, and maybe the word mill pond comes to mind when you think about those waters in comparison to some of the cruises from the United Kingdom.
Well, anyway, Gary, thanks very much for your time. I know you're very
welcome.
busy today. Thanks very much.
Thanks for...
heavy plastic ties and tears in her eyes. You left their color and left them way behind.
Hi, Alan.
Yeah.
And I have been discussing the certain lack of women around here in our Children's Centre studio and on town TV. And we reckon we need some. For presenting, that is. Enough of your smutty comments, Grinley. And so if you think you can do it, get on that screen and talk to the camera, feel confident, get out and speak to people. Can you communicate? I certainly can't. I can't even say communicate. Give us a call, 0264 33 556. Slightly different note, we need a little advertising exec or two down here. Now, if you think you've got the gift of the gab and get out there and sell, come and see us. 0264 33 556, or come and see us in the Chantry Centre. It's rather late on Wednesday afternoon, I'm going home. Bye!
Deadly happy. Okay, right, brilliant. Well, we're down here at Lloyds, and Lloyds have been running a competition with King Sombourne School for a troll drawing. And here we have the two winners, and you are?
Sonia Broom. Amy.
Okay, well, we've seen the two winning entries, and we're here with Steve and Alec. That's right.
That's right.
God, I got it right. And you're the manager of Lloyds. And Lloyds, can you tell me a little bit about the promotion and what's been actually going on with the drawings?
What we chose, we had a letter from the governing body at King Sombourne School asking if we would support their improvements to the school playgrounds. And we had a new advertising campaign coming out from the bank at Christmas, which most people have seen on the television by now. We decided to link the two together, get the children to draw us some trolls, and we donated £1 for every picture that the children submitted towards the playground improvements.
That's a good idea. No, I definitely like that. Being a bit of a sci-fi fantasy fan myself, I think the troll was definitely a very good idea. So, King Sombourne were obviously very into the idea of getting involved in this. I mean, how keen did you find the students in actually getting the drawings together?
Oh, absolutely no trouble at all in motivating them. I mean, they're very into trolls at the moment anyway, yeah. And it was just something they thoroughly enjoyed doing. And of course, we were delighted to help Lloyds.
Definitely.
working for the last year with a landscape architect in the school to try and improve the school grounds generally. We came across the first phase, which was an adventure play area that we were putting into the school, and if we acted quickly last term, we got a grant of £1,500 from Hampshire County Council to put this adventure play area in. So we mounted a major campaign to try and raise the rest of the money, which in fact in total was £5,000.
Then, well, thank you very much for speaking to us today and allowing us to come in and see these brilliant pictures that King Sombourne School have put together. And I think we'll actually have a nice few close-ups for the viewers there, Steve, don't you? Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
So anyway, Tony,
Yes.
tell me, how is business at the moment?
We are doing quite steady, thank you. It's quite coming in quite steadily, quite well. We have no grumbles at the moment.
How did the recession, we're still in it, but how has it affected you?
It has affected us, it's affected everybody the same. There's fewer people have been booking overall, but what we're finding is that those that do book come in and make their bookings at later dates than they would normally do so. In other words, they're saving up the money to pay for the holiday before they book it, instead of just doing a deposit and hoping that it'll come out in the wash later on. So planning wise it makes it a little bit difficult, because you don't know exactly what your take-up's going to be over a period of time, but in the long run you're finding that they're coming along steadily all the while, rather than any big rushes, but they're coming in quite well.
So how many coaches do you actually operate?
Over 50.
Over 50.
Yeah,
So you can, and that's what, 52 seaters?
Vary from 45 to 53. We do have 2 or 3 mini coaches which we use for feeder work, sort of 18 seaters.
So whereabouts are you actually based?
Bournemouth.
In Bournemouth?
Yeah.
So if people wanted to get hold of you, you're in sort of obviously Yellow Pages and...
Oh yes indeed we are, but not only getting a hold of us, you can get a hold of us through any travel agent. Any ABTA travel agent will deal with our bookings, deal with our inquiries, know all about us.
We've been around, we've gone to the Channel Tunnel, we've been to the Caribbean, we've been to P&O, where else did we go? We went to British Airways, we've been to Hertz, the travel people. We'd like to say thank you to all of them for putting up with us this morning, because they've all been extremely busy. I'd like to say thank you to Tony and to his driver Kevin for having us on the coach and pouring us a cup of tea. But we'll see you again in a few days, a few weeks, whatever, and we'll bring you some more instalments.